Mitch Marner's first hat trick with Vegas came in John Tortorella's second game behind the bench. Some feared how the hiring would impact Marner, but Frankie, do you think Tortorella is going to be a good thing for him?
I do believe this can be a good thing for Mitch Marner because you know what John Tortorella likes? He likes good players. He likes skilled players. He likes guys that are versatile. And Mitch Marner does all of that.
Everything stopped in the middle of the game. The ice broke, players walked off, and momentum disappeared in seconds. But when play came back, one player did not just return. He took over completely. Goals, assists, total control, and within minutes, the entire game flipped. What happened next was not normal hockey. It was something the league did not expect. The focus after this game was not only the scoreline, but the shift in player usage inside the Vegas Golden Knights system. Mitchell Marner recorded 3 goals and 2 assists, finishing with 5 points in a single game. This marked his 4th career hat trick and his 6th career 5-point performance. It was also his first hat trick since joining Vegas, placing immediate attention on his role within the team structure. This performance came during a period when Vegas had been dealing with low shooting efficiency. Reports before the game showed the team ranking near the bottom of the league in shooting percentage after the Olympic break. The issue was not chance creation, but finishing. In this game, that pattern changed. Vegas converted scoring opportunities at a higher rate, especially in the final period, and Marner was directly involved in those sequences. Discussion around coaching decisions had already indicated a change in approach. Analysts described a system built to favor skilled and versatile players. One statement explained, he likes good players, he likes skilled players, he likes guys that are versatile, and Mitch Marner does all of that. This reflected how Marner's profile fits into the current structure. Further commentary focused on deployment. He is going to ride his best players. This indicated that top players would receive increased ice time across different situations. In this game, Marner's presence was constant in offensive sequences, including both scoring and assisting roles. Another statement added context to roster composition. This is a tool at his disposal that he has not had in quite some time in the NHL. This referred to the availability of a player capable of producing at a high level across multiple areas of play. The 5-point output provided measurable evidence of that capability. The game also included an unusual interruption. During the third period, play was stopped due to damage to the ice surface, forcing a delay of more than 20 minutes. This created a separation in game flow. The score was tied at 3-3 before the stoppage, with both teams matching each other across 2 periods. The reaction after the game focused on what this performance revealed about the direction of the Vegas Golden Knights, rather than just the result itself. Analysts connected Marner's output to a broader shift in how the team is expected to function going forward. His role was not limited to a single line or situation. He was used across multiple phases of play, which aligned with earlier expectations about increased responsibility. One analysis directly linked ice time to production. Mitch Marner is going to thrive with more ice time, which by extension, the Vegas Golden Knights should thrive as well. This statement reflected how individual deployment could influence overall team performance. In this game, his 5-point output supported that connection through measurable results. The discussion also moved toward how other teams may view this development. Projections had already suggested a possible playoff matchup involving Vegas, and the Edmonton Oilers analysts pointed to the risk of facing a team that had not yet reached its full scoring potential. One statement explained, "What you would fear is that everything just clicks." This referred to the combination of improved finishing and stable system execution. Before this game, Vegas had shown consistency in defensive structure and penalty killing. However, their scoring efficiency had limited results. The 5-goal involvement from Marner in this game provided a clear example of how that limitation could change when execution improves. The third period scoring run showed controlled possession and effective finishing during a short span. The game also highlighted how quickly outcomes can shift under new conditions. The delay caused by ice damage created a break in momentum. The score was tied before the stoppage, with both teams evenly matched. After play resumed, Vegas controlled the pace and converted scoring chances without response from the Calgary Flames. This change occurred within a single period. Supporting players also contributed to the shift. Ivan Barbashev recorded 1 goal and 2 assists, adding depth to the offensive output. Shea Theodore registered 2 assists, maintaining puck movement during key sequences. Carter Hart returned in goal and made 19 saves, providing stability during the early phases of the game. Standings were also affected by the result. Vegas moved closer to the top position in the Pacific Division. Reports indicated the team remained within a small margin of the division leader. increasing the importance of each remaining game. This placed additional weight on performances that directly influence scoring outcomes. The sequence of events in this game combined multiple elements: a tied score entering the third period, a prolonged delay due to ice conditions, and a rapid scoring shift after play resumed. Within that sequence, Marner recorded 3 goals, 2 assists. The performance aligned with prior analysis regarding player usage and system changes, while also reflecting a measurable increase in scoring efficiency within a single game.
Yeah, we felt going into the deadline we had enough offense. Obviously, that's driven by McDavid and Draisaitl, but we felt other guys can contribute also. And offense generation wasn't an issue for us, whether it's creating chances or scoring goals. And what it was is we wanted to get better defensively, and we have gotten better defensively. A lot of it on emphasis on what we can do with our systems.
Something big is happening inside the Edmonton Oilers, and it's not just goals or highlights. Connor McDavid is doing something on the ice that is turning heads across the NHL, and it directly involves Leon Draisaitl. The same play keeps repeating, the same result keeps coming, and teams still cannot stop it. But what this really means is just starting to surface. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl continue to lead the Edmonton Oilers offense during the final stretch of the NHL season. Both players are among the top scorers in the league, and their production has remained steady across recent games. Their combined points account for a large share of the team's total scoring, and this pattern has been consistent in multiple matchups, but the way those points are created has drawn even more attention. Recent games show a repeated offensive structure. McDavid carries the puck with speed through the neutral zone and enters the offensive zone with control. He shifts laterally, pulling defenders toward him. At the same time, Draisaitl positions himself near the face-off circle or weak side lane. The play often ends with a cross-ice pass from McDavid, followed by a one-timer shot from Draisaitl. This sequence has produced several goals and has been used again and again, but teams have struggled to stop it. On the power play, this connection becomes even more clear. Edmonton's power play unit ranks among the most effective in the league. McDavid controls the puck near the half wall, directing movement and waiting for the right moment. Draisaitl sets up in his usual spot, ready for a quick shot. The puck moves quickly between players, then reaches Draisaitl for a direct attempt on goal. Despite defensive pressure, this setup continues to generate scoring chances, and the results have remained strong. After one of these games, McDavid spoke about the team's approach. He said, "We know what works for us, and we keep going back to it." This statement reflects the Oilers' reliance on their established system. The team does not change its core strategy often. Instead, it repeats what produces results, especially when both McDavid and Draisaitl are involved in the same play. Statistical trends support this approach. When both players record multiple points in a game, the Oilers have a much higher chance of winning. In games where they are limited, the team's scoring drops. This link between their performance and team success has been visible throughout the season, and it continues to shape how opponents prepare for Edmonton. When the Oilers need offense, the puck often moves through McDavid first, and the final shot frequently comes from Draisaitl. But this pattern has created a clear focal point for opponents. Game footage from recent matchups shows how quickly these plays develop. McDavid accelerates through defenders, often carrying the puck across the blue line with control. As defenders shift toward him, space opens on the opposite side. Draisaitl reads this movement and adjusts his position. The pass comes fast, and the shot follows immediately. These plays take only a few seconds to complete, leaving little time for defenders to react, but teams continue to study this setup closely. In one recent performance, McDavid recorded multiple assists, with each one connecting directly to Draisaitl. The scoring plays followed nearly identical patterns. Analysts reviewing the game noted that defenders were aware of the setup, but could not close the gap in time. The execution remained precise, and the timing between both players stayed consistent. This repetition has made their connection one of the most effective offensive tools in the league. Draisaitl also addressed the team's approach during media coverage. He said, "We just try to keep it simple and play our game." This statement reflects how the Oilers maintain their structure. They do not rely on complex systems in these moments. Instead, they focus on speed, positioning, and timing between their top players. But the situation becomes more intense as the season moves forward. Advanced metrics provide further detail. Both players rank high in expected goals and high danger scoring chances. These numbers show that their opportunities are not only frequent, but also effective. McDavid's role in creating chances remains central. He controls zone entries and distributes the puck. Draisaitl's role as a finisher allows him to convert those chances at a high rate. This balance between playmaking and finishing continues to drive the Oilers' offense. Coaching decisions also reflect this dependence. McDavid and Draisaitl are often deployed together during critical moments, including power plays and late-game situations. Their ice time remains high compared to other players on the roster. This usage pattern shows how much the team depends on their production, especially when games become close. Opponents have adjusted their defensive strategies, focusing more attention on limiting space and reducing passing lanes. However, even with these adjustments, both players continue to generate scoring chances. The speed of execution and accuracy of passing remain difficult to counter. As playoff positioning becomes more important, this connection between McDavid and Draisaitl continues to shape the Oilers' performance, and the pressure around this duo keeps growing with every game played.
You're just about to send your team out onto the ice, and you've got to tell them your boss just got fired. Good luck with that. That situation Craig Berube found himself in last night. To talk about it, here's the coach, Bruce Boudreau. Bruce, you went through a similar scenario in the past. What's that like?
Well, it's not a lot of fun, I can tell you that, and both for the coach and for the players, because A, you don't want to distract them from the game, but B, you start to think, okay, he was my guy. He was the guy I was hanging on to. If he's gone, what's my situation?
Shockwaves hit the Toronto Maple Leafs after a sudden front office move, and within hours, attention shifted straight to the bench. Pressure started building around Craig Berube as reports linked past NHL patterns to what could happen next. Nothing has been confirmed, but the silence from management is raising serious concern, and the situation is still unfolding. The focus around Craig Berube intensified immediately after the management change inside the Toronto Maple Leafs organization. In the NHL, when a general manager leaves or is removed, attention often shifts toward the head coach. This pattern has been observed in multiple teams over recent seasons. The Maple Leafs situation now follows that same structure, and it has placed Berube under direct scrutiny. Recent team performance added to this pressure. The Maple Leafs have recorded mixed results in their last few games. In one match, they secured a 2-1 overtime win against the Anaheim Ducks. Reuters reported, John Tavares nets OT winner, Maple Leafs down Ducks. That result showed the team's ability to close tight games, but it did not remove concerns about consistency. In another game, the Leafs faced a heavy loss against the St. Louis Blues. Reuters stated, Blues stay hot, crush Maple Leafs. The team conceded 6 goals in that match. Defensive breakdowns were visible early in the game. The Blues maintained control throughout, and the Leafs were unable to recover. This result increased discussion around team structure and in-game adjustments. As these results came in, media coverage across Canada began focusing on coaching decisions. Analysts pointed to defensive organization and game management. The combination of a close win and a heavy loss created a mixed performance pattern. This inconsistency became a key topic in discussions about the team's direction. Craig Berube addressed the situation in a recent interview. According to Sportsnet, he said, "It's been my life." The statement referred to his long career in hockey. He acknowledged the uncertainty around his position. Reports noted that he is aware of the pressure but continues to focus on his role. His comments did not indicate any change in status, but they reflected the ongoing situation. The situation around Craig Berube did not slow down after the initial reaction. Instead, discussion expanded across league coverage as analysts compared this case to past NHL decisions. In several teams, a change at the general manager level was followed by a coaching adjustment within a short period. This pattern has been referenced repeatedly in recent reports, and it continues to shape expectations. Berube's coaching record remains part of the conversation. He led the St. Louis Blues to a Stanley Cup in 2019. That achievement is documented as a major milestone in his career. However, current evaluations are focused on present team performance. In professional hockey, past results do not guarantee job security. This standard applies across all teams, and the Maple Leafs are no exception. Attention has also turned toward game structure and execution. In the loss to St. Louis, the Leafs allowed 6 goals. The defensive unit showed gaps in coverage. Early goals changed the pace of the game. The Blues maintained pressure. and the Leafs could not regain control. This match has been used as a reference point in ongoing analysis, and it added to concerns about consistency. At the same time, the overtime win against Anaheim showed a different outcome. The team limited scoring chances and secured a narrow victory. John Tavares scored the deciding goal in overtime. The result confirmed that the team can perform under pressure. However, the contrast between games has remained a central issue in coverage, and it continues to draw attention. Media outlets have maintained focus on Berube's position. Sportsnet reports emphasized his awareness of the situation. His statement, "It's been my life," has been widely cited. It reflects his long-term involvement in hockey, but does not address future decisions. No official confirmation has been provided by team management, and that has kept uncertainty in place. The Maple Leafs schedule adds another layer to this situation. The team is playing games within short intervals. Limited recovery time affects performance and preparation. Each result now carries more weight due to the stage of the season. Analysts have noted that upcoming games could influence internal evaluations, and this has increased focus on immediate outcomes.
Here's William Nylander from today on what he has seen this year and maybe what he thinks has possibly gone wrong with the Leafs.
You look back at it and go, you kind of wish the team had done something different, like it was played different, or I don't know. When you look back at it, do you see the mistakes that as they piled up, kind of?
I mean, I have like my thoughts about maybe some stuff, but I mean that's something I'm going to keep to myself.
Okay. So yeah, Willie's not going to reveal it, not surprisingly, and I don't think he shouldn't just sit there and start throwing daggers.
Silence can be louder than anything, and William Nylander just proved it in a way no one expected. After a season full of pressure and criticism, he faced the media, and instead of explaining, he gave one cold sentence that instantly spread across the NHL. No details, no emotion, just silence. And now, that silence is raising questions no one can answer. Yet, the moment happened quickly, but it changed the entire conversation around the Toronto Maple Leafs. Reporters asked William Nylander a direct question about the season. It was a normal question. Players are asked this all the time, especially after a difficult stretch. Most players respond with simple answers. They talk about effort, mistakes, or what needs to improve. Nylander did not do that. He paused, stayed calm, and gave a short answer. He said, "Something I'm going to keep to myself." That was the full response. He did not add anything else. He did not explain what he meant. He did not go into details about the team or the season. The interview moved on, but the moment did not. This response quickly became a major talking point across hockey media. According to Sportsnet, Nylander chose not to explain where the season went wrong. The report confirmed that he declined to share his thoughts publicly when asked directly. That choice stood out immediately. Players usually give structured answers in these situations. They often say the team needs to be better or that small mistakes made a big difference. These answers are common. They are expected. Nylander's response did not follow that pattern. It was short, it was controlled, and it gave nothing away. Another report from Toronto Sun also highlighted this moment. The article explained that Nylander clearly has opinions about the season, but decided not to share them. The focus was not on what he said, but on what he chose not to say. That made the moment different. The Maple Leafs have been under heavy pressure. Expectations were high throughout the season. Media coverage has been constant. Players have faced repeated questions about performance, effort, and results. Nylander has been part of that environment. His response came during that pressure. It did not include frustration or anger. His tone stayed neutral, his words stayed limited. But the message was still clear. He was not going to explain his thoughts. That decision created a strong reaction. The reaction to that moment grew quickly, and the focus shifted from the team's performance to Nylander's response itself. Media coverage continued to highlight the same quote. The sentence, "Something I'm going to keep to myself," was repeated across broadcasts and articles. It became the main reference point in discussions about the Toronto Maple Leafs. This level of attention did not come from length or detail. It came from what was missing. According to Sportsnet, Nylander has often handled media in a controlled and private way. He does not regularly share deep internal thoughts in interviews. That pattern helps explain the response, but it does not fully remove the impact of the moment because the situation was different. The question was about a full season. It came during a period when the team was under strong public evaluation. In these moments, players are expected to give insight, even if it is limited. Nylander chose not to provide that insight. That choice became the story. Coverage from Toronto Sun emphasized that Nylander had thoughts on the season but decided not to reveal them. The article did not include any further explanation from him. The original quote remained the only direct comment. No follow-up changed that. Nylander did not expand on his answer in later interviews. He did not clarify what he meant. The single sentence remained unchanged. That consistency kept the focus on the original moment. The absence of detail continued to drive attention. In most interviews, players respond with repeated phrases. They talk about improving, learning, or moving forward. These responses create a predictable pattern. Nylander's response did not fit that pattern. It stood apart because it avoided